Collecting trains becomes a lifelong passion for a lot of people. Many times it's an interest that's passed on from one generation to the next. For John Watson, what started as therapy for his son became a strong bond the two still share today.
Look around. Almost everywhere you look is another train. Dave Watson has as many as 10 running at once and hundreds in his collection. Why so many?
Every train set has some sort of a mystique to me. And if I see one and I want to share in that mystique with it, I'll buy it. Yes, I do have a lot of sets, and I've been collecting for 40 years. And I practically have everything in the catalogs that I ever wanted.
Every kid has dreams of special trains. Dave was no different. Growing up in the Midwest, his favorite was a local attraction.
My number one is the Hiawatha. That was a train that I used to watch when I lived in the city of Wauwatosa. Come through and stop at the station and then take off, and it was just so dramatic because you could be standing there 6 feet away from the train, and it was just something that was, well, it was my favorite train. And so I have a lot of Hiawatha memorabilia, and I have some Hiawatha engines, and I go from there.
His love for toy trains has been passed on to his son John, but it didn't start out as a hobby.
When John was in kindergarten, I got a report back from the school saying he was having some difficulty with his small muscle control of his hands and fingers. And I found that very hard to believe. So I said, well, we're going to do some therapy here. I figured if he can learn how to put track together and couple cars and put the cars on the tracks, that would certainly be a real good therapy for him. So I went right out and bought a train. And that's how we started.
All the kids from the school would always be here after school every day playing with the trains. All the mothers from my class would say, is my son there? My mom says, yes.
The motor problems, if there ever were any, went away as fast as his love for trains came on strong. With that came a stronger bond between father and son.
We didn't watch a lot of television when I was younger. When Dad would get home from the office, which would be somewhat late, I'd already have my PJs on, just a little guy, but we'd always spend at least an hour downstairs working on the trains. And I'd go to bed and he'd keep on working on the trains, and I'd get up early in the morning and go down to see what he did.
That was when we used to get boxes of trains from garage sales. Yeah. And they all needed repair and clean up and everything, but that was the fun of it. That's what that's really what got us together on it.
And it was just fun. I enjoyed it. And we both enjoyed it together. So if it wasn't fun, we wouldn't have done it.
Both Dave and John are dentists. John is an innovator just like his father. He designed a critical part of the transformer that's running these trains after noticing how hot the transformer got and how slowly his trains were running.
Originally, the pickup from the coil in the transformer to the rest of the transformer was made through a carbon roller made out of graphite, like a pencil lead. And that thing was cherry red. And, from my knowledge of metals and melting gold at the office, I know cherry red is about 1,700 degrees. So right then and there, I thought there's a lot of resistance going there. And the hotter it got, the slower everything would go. And of course, all the energy was going to heat up the roller and not to run the trains. So I thought to myself, what could we substitute for that carbon that wouldn't wear on the soft copper coils, but would be a much better conductor? And of course, being a dentist, I thought, gold. Well, I went to the train show the next weekend and I bought a carbon roller from the supply guy, this parts guy, and I went to the office and made an impression of it. I made some little acrylic patterns and I cast a couple gold rollers up, polished them, and I brought them back and installed them in the transformers, and lo and behold, trains went faster. We could cut back the throttles. They didn't get hot.
As collections go, Dave Watson's is valuable, but it's not dollar signs he sees hanging on his walls.
No. That's strange? I don't. I don't. I just see the train that I wanted to have, that I wanted to admire, I wanted to see, I want to be able to hold. And I couldn't tell you right now what dollar I paid for any one of these.